Welcome to the opening reception for Dear Rachel Whitlock, a solo exhibition of Ray Whitlock's making. Ray's work is an exercise in repetition and finding or inventing the sacred in the mundane. I won't get into too many details as Ray will be starting out this reception by explaining more about what you can now experience in our virtual gallery space. We will also have musical performances by David Morey, Meg Mullerin, and Gardner. Ray will be in the chat, letting you know where you can donate to support these artists who are volunteering for tonight's performance. We would also like to give a special thank you to Brittany Justice for making the Rachel Whitlock Project Archive possible. And so, without further ado, I present to you all, Dear Rachel Whitlock.
Dear Rachel Whitlock, I have been receiving some of your email. Of course, we all get spam, but I've been paying attention to these messages because they are personal, or show me something about who you are. I've been given a window into another life. There was nothing particularly sordid or dramatic that engaged me. It was the quotidian details, some of which felt so familiar, and some so far away. I don't know you, but I know a lot about you. To set the scene, some of the information I have received includes process planning for your church choir, information from your children's schools, all of your Uber receipts, divorce papers, a wedding invitation, shopping receipts, reminders for doctor's appointments, hair appointments, and car service appointments. With all of these put together, it's easy to define a few key characteristics about us. According to the most recent U.S. Census, there are 25 of us currently living in the United States, 29 if you include RACHAEL. Additionally, I have received emails for at least one of us in the UK, and with a quick search, found others in Canada and Australia. We all seem to be white women between 25 and 45 years of age. Our experiences are diverse, but our demographic is not. I see us as one. We live in Carmel, Indiana, Chicago, Illinois, Richmond, Virginia, Brisbane, Queensland, Miami, Florida, Durham, North Carolina, Provo, Utah, Oakland County, Michigan, Sterling, Virginia, Bristol, England, Chaves County, New Mexico, Caledonia, Ontario, Maury County, Tennessee. I'm not doing this because I want anything from you. I'm just sorting and observing. I hope we are well. Best, Rachel Whitlock.
Date, September 2nd, 2014. Sender, Laura. Subject, 9:25. Laura wrote to inform us that we can schedule redacted surgery for 9:25. I let Laura know that this was the wrong email, that I do not live in Indiana, and that I was pretty sure another Rachel Whitlock had given out this address for about 2 years. In fact, I lived close by, in Chicago, and my estimate of 2 years was wildly inaccurate. Laura thanked me for letting her know and informed me that this was the email address listed for the person she was trying to reach, and invited me to have a great, wonderful day. I do not recall whether I had a great, wonderful day on September 2nd, 2014. Did you? I hope you did. Date, June 26, 2015. Sender, Matt. Subject, carpet estimate. Matt has attached the estimate for the carpet project. It says it's for your new house in Carmel. Congratulations on the move. I inform Matt that this is the wrong email and invite him to let you know the situation. I never hear back. I wonder if he told you. I wonder if you wonder about me. I wonder how the new carpet feels under your footsteps. Is it plush? Did it make your new house feel like your new home?
Date, August 17th, 2017. Sender, Tara. Subject, paper source. Tara is excited to schedule your talk with Jenna as they heard great things about you and your career at Redacted. I wrote back to Tara and said, "Hi Tara, I'm afraid you're emailing the wrong Rachel Whitlock. Hope you find the one you need. Best, also Rachel Whitlock." Tara replied and invited me to have a great weekend. Thanks, Tara. I hope we both find what we need.
dans tes heures. Ça veut l'ouvrir tes verres, mais elle est déjà pistée par le videur. Elle veut des verres et des violets dans le petit cœur. Elle va l'arroser. Le tour est là, tomber, en mal d'enrosé. Alléluia, quand elle pousse son boule, tout est glaçant là, c'est cynique, tout le monde la connaît, ça va survoler, toi ça va
Date, December 18th, 2015. Sender, Carolyn. Subject, Creative Team Gathering 12/29 at 6:30 p.m., address redacted, Drive, Indianapolis. Carolyn wrote to engage the team with the upcoming year's schedule of speakers for services. It is a long email with lots of details and lots of other people copied on it, so I felt it prudent to inform Carolyn of the situation. I wrote, "Hi Carolyn, I'm afraid you have the wrong Rachel Whitlock. The Rachel Whitlock you know has been giving out my email address for a few years now to many, many people. If possible, please let her know this, as I obviously cannot contact her. I don't know her. Thanks and happy holidays. The other Rachel Whitlock." Carolyn replied, "She told me, I'm so sorry. Merry Christmas, C." Which means, you know I exist, in a way. What do you think about that? Or about me and the way I've handled the situation? Are you receiving my email? You've never once written to me to ask me to forward something or to address the situation. It's like you'd rather pretend I don't exist. On December 27th, Carolyn replied all to her original message to remind everyone of the upcoming meeting, so again looping me in. I want to be clear that I am at the very least a passive recipient, but it is true that I have made a choice to occasionally move beyond passivity into active engagement. It does not feel healthy to move through life passively receiving what comes your way, nor to cast aside an opportunity to glimpse another person in a new way. So I'm looking for you. Carolyn's teaser for the January 3rd service was as follows. Force quit, restart, sleep, shut down. What will you choose? As we gather on the dawn of a new year, we will look at the choices and possibilities that come with the new year. What are your plans? Will you reboot, reinvest, restart, or just keep going as if this is any other time of the year? Great questions. But with each day comes the ability to choose. We needn't wait until the new year. We could reboot, as it were. We could restart. I as you and you as me. It's nothing more than a simple shift in perspective. What are your plans, Rachel?
Date, February 22nd, 2015. Sender, Kent. Subject, Winter Party. Kent has misspelled your first name on both the invite and in the email address. At least he is consistent. Did you ever hear about the party? I RSVP'd attending for you. That way, if you didn't show up, Kent would wonder why and be sure to mention it to you.
Date, January 2nd, 2016. Sender, Troy. Subject, Song Assignments for 1/10/16. On the day that Troy sent this message to you and the rest of the choir, I was packing up my one-bedroom apartment in Chicago with my husband and dog and preparing to drive across the country to move to Richmond, Virginia. I would pass through Indianapolis, where you presumably were, around noon on January 3rd. Maybe I saw you. Maybe you felt me. Your song for this week was, "What do I know of holy?" As for myself, the closest I've come to holy are the ecstatic moments of shared awareness with another human that are so rare, but so joyful and indescribably pure. This state can be most reliably produced through drugs or sexual union, or anything that shifts your consciousness. But it is also possible with less contrivance. Just true openness, interest, and lack of judgment. It is very difficult for me to be vulnerable because I am full to the brim with fear. Yet I crave a closeness that can only be achieved through mutual vulnerability, knowing and being known. I would describe these experiences as spiritual. This is what I know of holy.
Date: December 16th, 2015. Sender: Troy. Subject: Names for the program. Troy is sorry to bother us, since he said he wouldn't until Friday, but he needs the kids' names for the program. I am not able to provide this information. Date: December 17th, 2015. Sender: Carolyn. Subject: With the changes we discussed. This 10-message email thread begins with Carolyn sending the Christmas Carol service program at 11:46 a.m. on December 12th. Troy and Beth weighed in with comments and edits. Carolyn made some changes, and you were never heard from. They discussed until 4:45 p.m., at which point Troy finally texted you to get the kids' names for the program, presumably because you did not reply to his last email. You did reply to this text, though, and he emailed the list to everyone at 4:53 p.m. So now I do have the names of the kids for the program, in case anyone needs them.
Date, December 20th, 2019. Sender, Uber. Subject, your Friday evening trip with Uber. At 5:20 p.m., you took an Uber from Redacted Highway, Tampa, Florida, the same hotel where you stayed previously, to Redacted Avenue, Tampa, Florida, which is the brewery that you like so much. I've spent a lot of time over these years wondering if you were a beer and wine rep, visiting breweries and bars all over the East Coast to establish relationships and stock new beverages. Now, I think it's just habitual and recreational. After all, most of us just do the same thing over and over.
Date, December 1st, 2015. Sender, St. Vincent Hospital System. Subject, St. Vincent Patient Portal. St. Vincent is pleased to provide you with access to their patient portal. I cannot reply to this email because it is an unmonitored inbox. My notice of erroneous receipt, were I to send one, would languish away unread and unheeded. This email, therefore, notifies me that my only possible course of action is inaction, because to take action would be the same as doing nothing at all. I do nothing. It's satisfying, at least, to know definitively over what you do and do not have control.
Date, December 20th, 2019. Sender, Uber. Subject, your Friday evening trip with Uber. Your pickup address for your 6:35 p.m. Uber reads only Tampa, Florida. No street address. I suppose you were standing in the exact center of Tampa, Florida, exactly 28 hours and 40 minutes before the 2019 winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere. If you had stayed in that spot for 28 hours and 40 minutes, you could have been centered in both celestial time and the city of Tampa. Would that bring a feeling of wholeness? We are each, at many times in our lives, at the center of something unseen. We may be halfway between our birth and death, or other less seminal markers, but we can only perceive this in retrospect. I wonder what else you are at the center of in this moment. From there, you traveled 3.25 miles to Redacted Street, Tampa, Florida.
Date, February 13th, 2021. Sender, Uber. Subject, your Saturday evening trip with Uber. On Saturday, February 13th, 2021, at 6:28 p.m., I was at home, thinking about this project, and wondering how bad the roads would be with the impending winter storm. I checked my email and saw you'd taken an Uber, but when I read the details, my heart began to race. You were a mere 2 miles away from me, in a neighborhood I knew well, and took an Uber to Redacted, a renowned local beer bar. I've been pretty cautious with the pandemic. I have not been to an indoor bar or restaurant since March 2020. Additionally, with the ice storm, I wasn't planning on driving anywhere that weekend. But to know you were in town a few miles away was jarring. I wondered, if there weren't a pandemic and an ice storm, would I go to you? What would I say? I imagined myself taking one of the following approaches. 1. Going to the bar and seeing if I can recognize you. If so, I could quietly observe you, but not by hyper-focusing. The opposite, actually. Reading you as a negative of an image, a blind spot in the center of my vision, where everything around us that is not us defines the shape of what we are. Would you feel the connection as a likeness across the room that draws you towards it, like two droplets of oil and water? Would we feel multiplied, refracted like a kaleidoscope? Is it like the feeling where, as a child, I would stand in my bathroom with a mirror in front of me and one behind, and watch my infinite selves wave their hands as I did, turn their heads as I did, move in synchronicity but not as one, all of them me but none of them me? 2. I find you and I stand near you, talking to my companion. I make sure they call me by my name so that you can hear and maybe say, hey, I'm a Rachel too. We strike up a conversation, friendly because we have something in common, and beer in our hands. When we realize we have the same last name as well, disbelief, for you, melts into shock and maybe joy. Everything shatters and reforms into a covalent bond. We share something between us that is definitive and irrevocable. We cannot be broken. I scan my inbox, waiting for another message from Uber so that I can know you've left the bar. I wonder if you'll go to another, or where you're staying, or somewhere I can't predict at all. I wait and watch. A second email never comes. I do nothing.